You are not your behavior. And this is pretty contradictory because, we judge people always on their actions and how they are. And most of the time, we judge people after we see their actions, okay? But once you start to understand energy and vibration, you start to understand that everything is just a reflection of the inside, okay? And people are just currently attuned to a certain frequency, and that's because they are mixing with certain people, they are living in certain places, and that makes up their perspective. That makes up their current inner vision. That makes up their current habits and current actions, okay? But the moment you put this energy in a different environment with different people, it creates different actions, different thoughts, different perspective. So this individual is a unique individual, but because it's in a certain environment in a certain way, it is the person who it is, okay? But if you would put this person in a different environment, it would create different actions and different results. And I'm not saying that this person would become totally different, it's still, attuned to a certain baseline. But, it's always a combination between where you are right now, the frequency you're mixing with, the energy you are absorbing, the current perspective you're having, okay? So most of the time we judge people because of the actions they are doing, okay? The actions they are having. And yes, that is the person. The person is taking these actions. They have a conscious mind. They can, not like a dog, for example. A dog just barks and bites and forgets it after some time. It's just automatic response. But that's because an animal does not have introspection, okay? It cannot look back at itself. It just reacts. It just responds, okay? It's locked into a certain frequency, locked into a certain brain connections, that it always acts the way it is, okay? And this is because it's been programmed from a young age, okay? So if the dog, so this is a dog, for example, if the dog has a lot of trauma, it will bite faster, okay? Something will happen, it will see a human it does not recognize, because in the past when it was small it was maybe kicked by a human. Therefore, when it sees a human it does not recognize, instantly the brain goes, hey, potential danger, okay? Therefore it starts to be aggressive with the human, and the moment this dog makes enough brain connections, positive ones, and it starts to understand, oh wait, this human gives me food, this human is nice to me, then this human gets a place in its subconscious brain as good, okay? So this one now is labeled as good. So every time this dog sees this human, it will not become aggressive, because it's now programmed itself that this human is good, okay? But the same is with humans. The same is with humans. And the thing is that right now, these humans have certain behavior, okay? And this behavior creates certain actions, and it's based on the vibration they are in. And that's all based on their programming from a young age. But this programming was just different vibrations they were mixing, different experiences they were mixing, different places and experiences created different brain connections, okay? And that created the human and its behavior the way it is right now. So you can predict what this human is going to do if you read the energy. You read the energy, you can read the timeline. When you are highly attuned, you're capable of reading vibrations, you're capable of reading people, and you can make a calculation in your brain and you can predict the actions, okay? And this human is programmed in such a way that it recreates the results that in the past produced dopamine. Okay, so the moment this human starts to maybe have a traumatic experience, and it will override these brain connections, it can go into a totally different environment, totally mixing with totally different people, and then it can transform into a totally different frequency with totally different actions. Okay, you will always take the past actions, the past way of being with you as a lens you can perceive reality through, but it does not have to control you, because you are capable of attuning to different energies. The only way your current perspective, your current way of being is controlling you is when you are not living in freedom. Okay, so what does this mean? I live in freedom, I have a house, I have a car, I have my own place, whatever. Okay, yeah, but you don't have freedom of frequency. Okay, so this world has many different frequencies. Okay, different countries have different cultures, have different frequencies, different jobs have different people, have different frequencies. Okay, if you are stuck in the same house, in the same job, in the same town, in the same, friends, you are always stuck in this energy bubble. Okay, and this energy bubble always creates the same frequency, same inner world, same images, same vision, and it will always produce similar of what's already happening within the bubble. Okay, but the moment you are capable of booking a one-way ticket and going to a totally different country, you will start to attune to different cultures. You will start to make totally new brain connections, okay, totally new ways of being. You start to be capable of looking back at your current programming and having a good look about, what was programming before, what was normal before, and what is normal now if I compare it with different cultures, with different ways of being. Okay, and this will allow you to evolve your mind. And if you are stuck, if this is why the school system is so toxic, that's why the 9 to 5 is so toxic, that's why being stuck in the same job is so toxic, because you are forced in the same vibration all the time. So you will always stay stuck in certain brain connections, and you will always be locked in the same frequency. So in the physical world you seem free. Okay, it looks like from the external world that you are free, you are making your own choices, but that's not true. Your vibration, your perspective is very rigid, and then at some point, because you never are capable of making your perspective fluid again, you think, okay, this is the way I am, this is the way how I think, and then you start to protect this you, which is just an ego, which is stuck on a certain vision, stuck on a certain unconscious wavelength. Okay, and your future will become very predictable. Okay, and that's because most people are stuck on the same frequency, so it's very predictable, their future. You can already predict where they will end up if they continue the behavior that they are currently having, because you can read the energy. And when you read someone's energy, your brain can make a calculation, okay, it's very predictable, they will end up there. So, for example, someone is addicted to drugs, for example, very addictive stuff. This stuff, if you can make very clear prediction, hey, wait, okay, if he continues using, he will infect other people also with that belief system. He will ruin other people's life by using this dangerous stuff, and he's locked into it, and he will probably end up in a place where he's not contributing to society. okay? And this is the reason why there's a war on drugs, because their mindset is influencing the younger generation, and they get locked into a destructive loop that only puts them downward spiral. But the real problem is lack of awareness, okay? They don't understand that they are not searching dopamine, they are searching awareness, okay? They think, okay, I am searching a happy feeling, but that's not true. They are searching a better reality that makes them happy, okay? And here's the plot twist. You need to use drugs to get to a better reality. And this probably blows your mind because you've been learned, okay, drugs are bad, don't use them. This is also true. And do you know what the biggest problem is? There's an infinite amount of substances, chemicals, and they all have their own unique influence within the body and the mind. And the biggest problem in this culture is we all call them drugs. And therefore we only see this label in our mind instead of this. Okay? Take a good look at this. If you're living in a country where there's a war on drugs and it's illegal, and they made everything illegal and they're prosecuting people for using, they are actually preventing people from raising their consciousness, okay? They are stopping people from making their perspective more fluid, so they can see life with more depth on different frequencies and therefore create a different reality for themselves. And because there's a war on drugs, there's a war on psychedelics. That's the reason why this world is so messed up, because it keeps people stuck in the same actions, and it keeps people from understanding the toxic stuff that's socially accepted and the good stuff, okay? So there's a lot of chemicals, and some stuff you should never use, very dangerous, okay? Has zero benefits. And certain stuff increases your awareness, allows your perspective to be more fluid, allows you to perceive life with more depth, allows you to become a better person, allows you to remove the trauma you've collected from the past, allows you to become a better human being and more effective human being, okay? But because we live in such a messed up reality where medicine keep you sick and drugs make you smart, okay? That's the current reality we are living in. That's a different shift. A lot of stuff from the doctor are pills that keep you sick because it will earn more money to keep you sick, because it's a business model. And then plants from nature are actually healing you, and then they made the things from nature that are actually healing you. They made those illegal, and you can only use the stuff that's from the doctor, and that's only because they want you in a perpetual loop of low consciousness that keeps you on a low vibration, so your mind is easily controlled by the news, by politics, that you do not see life with more depth. That's what's really happening. Because you live on a low consciousness, you're only using the stuff that's legal. Because the only reason it's legal is because it will not allow you to increase your consciousness. It will not allow you to make more brain cells. It will keep you in a docile state where you're easily controlled by the government. And that's the reason why the government made it illegal to use substances that raises your consciousness, okay? And that's the real reason why this world is such a messed up place. And therefore, if something bad happens and we aren't capable of perceiving reality, true reality, vibrational reality, something will happen, okay? For example, this person will commit a crime, and then if he commits a crime and he does not get caught, then from the perspective of other people, this person is still a good person, okay? But the moment this person gets caught, then their mind labels this person as, okay, bad, okay? And it's very hard to undo this programming of others. Why are people labeling this person as bad? just like the dog did, okay? Just like the dog did, but the dog is doing it for protection and is doing it with everyone. And humans are doing it not with everyone, but you have to mess up to create brain connections that, okay, this person is bad. New brain connections, and you do this to protect yourself, to protect others, okay? But once you start to understand that this person is just on a current frequency, okay? So for example, if just to give you an example, I will give ayahuasca as an example. Ayahuasca is a root vine from the Amazon, and it allows you to get closer to your soul and remove a lot of deep trauma from within. It's really, you know, a healing plant. If a person who's very bad, does very bad things, is on a very toxic vibration, very toxic frequency, would use ayahuasca, it would allow to remove demons, because you have an energy field and you collecting demons. This can be done through sex, this can be done through bad substances, okay, party substances, bad drugs. You collect demons, okay, and these demons influence your energy field. So this person will become a bad person, not because in the core it's bad, but because it has collected so many demons, negative energy from, you know, sexual intercourse or drugs or whatever. And therefore these actions are not just, you know, these actions are only 1% the real person and 99% of absorbed energy from the environment. If this person would do ayahuasca, for example, it will allow the energy field to remove these demons that influence their actions, and then it would be, for example, 30% control by the soul, by the heart again, and 70% control by the human vessel. But the whole reason the government wants this as low as possible, because they don't want people to operate from an authentic frequency. They don't want people to stand in their truth. They don't want people to stand in their power. Because if someone stands in their power, in their truth, in their authentic self, they aren't controllable anymore, okay? And that's the whole reason the government wants people sick. That's the whole reason things that expand your awareness from nature are illegal. That's the whole reason the school system exists, and you're not allowed to daydream, and you have to focus on external stuff and learn and repeat short-term thinking, okay? And only learn that, and don't collaborate, okay? What they are trying to do, they're doing everything within the system to lower your energy and give you as much demons as possible. That's the whole reason alcohol is pushed upon us, because alcohol opens our energy field and we literally absorb all these negative energies, okay? And when we are fully absorbed with all these negative energies, we take actions that are not our own. You probably have been drunk. You had moments where you were very drunk, you did very stupid things you regretted. You weren't making your own choices. It was external frequencies which you weren't capable of perceiving with your eyes that were influencing and taking control over your body, okay? There are demons, there are things on an energetic level that take control over your body when you are on a low vibration, okay? And nothing brings you as low as, you know, the alcohol or different stuff. So let me ask you a question. Are you when you're very, very drunk and you're doing stupid stuff? Are you, or is something influencing you? And you will probably think, okay, so I really regret the moments when I was really drunk because I did stupid stuff, you know. That was not me. That was like, I would never do that when I was sober, okay? So keep that thought in mind, okay? So now you're connecting the dots, okay? So There were moments in my life I was doing things I really regretted, but I just didn't control my actions and my thinking, okay? That's because you were full, you were on a low energy, on a low frequency, and when you're drunk, it's really obvious. It's really obvious when you're drunk, okay? But it stops to become obvious when people are sober and have collected so much trauma in their life that they consider it who they are. They just think, okay, this is just the way I am. This is the baseline. And that's only because all the things that would bring you back to a childlike baseline. So imagine when you were a child, the amount of happiness you would experience on a daily basis, okay? The feeling you felt when you were younger as a child, that was way higher energy, okay? And the way you're operating right now. If we would be capable of using, if the government would create more, I don't talk about the government too much because it's just an entity that controls a lot of people. If we have to, we should stop relying on the government, okay? The government is just something we have to play according to its games and then break free, because it's an entity it's mafia. In the end, it's mafia. The government is just mafia, and it has no good intentions towards you. It just acts like that, okay? And that's what we have to start to understand. A lot of people in power, they act like they have good intentions towards you, but their actions show a totally different intention. So once you start to understand, okay, because I live in a system that's created by a government that acts like they have good intentions, but at the core, they are doing everything to keep you in a low vibration, to make your energy field shattered, to have a low self-image, to not be capable of using your own imagination, to not take control over your own unique actions, and to not become, and their whole goal is to keep you out of a unique frequency. They don't want you attuning to a unique frequency. That's the goal. They want you on a low energy and not on a unique frequency, because the moment you are starting to vibrate on authenticity, you are removing the trauma from the past, you are evolving the person you are, building a positive self-image about yourself, liking yourself, you will start to vibrate higher and your actions will change, okay? You will start loving yourself and you are a different person. You become a different person. You are not your actions. You are not your current actions. When you say this is just the way I am, you just told yourself, I'm never gonna evolve to a better version of myself. And that's the thing. A person can be very messed up, can become a drug addict, and then a few years later transform into a successful entrepreneur and, you know, turn his life around. So what's happening? They are just, you know, hit, most of the time they just hit rock bottom, and then they don't like their life anymore, and just then they keep on taking daily steps to make their life better. Okay? And this person is a totally different person than this person, but it's always been the same person. It is the same person, but it's a totally different person. So what's different? On the physical, on the external, this person looks the same, but internal, vibrational, this person is totally different, okay? Not recognizable from before. So this person, you are not your actions. Your current actions just reflect your current vibrational state, your current inner vision, your current unconscious attunement, okay? You are always capable of removing these demons from your body, removing these energetic cords, removing this magic that's put on your mind, and starting to vibrate back on your authentic, unique frequency. That's the goal. And when you do, you become powerful. Power is not external money-wise, power is not how much money do I have of the bank. It's a great tool to influence people, but true power lies within. How high is your vibration? Do you control your emotions? Do you control your positive mindset? Do you control the awareness you're capable of creating about the external world? Because you can have a lot of money, but if you do not control your brain connections, you do not control your awareness, you do not control your emotions, okay? The external world still, you are still not free. Because your emotions are being influenced by external people that are capable of influencing your brain connections, okay? But if you are in control of your emotions, you are in control over your awareness, and you don't have any money, you still have more power than a person who has a lot of money and is not in control over its emotions. Because you can control people who are not in control over their emotions. And what is not in control over your emotions? Not in control over your emotions is not in control over your perspective and your energy field, okay? And someone can be influenced by other energy fields. So for example, this person can do something very horrible. So this is a sword, okay? And it can stab someone. Chuck. Okay, chuck. And we will see with the physical eyes, hey, this person is very bad. Okay? And that's true because it does a horrible act. But that's just because their soul, their heart, is totally disconnected from their brain, okay? And their brain is influenced by external vibrations, okay? So this energy field, for example, this is a boss, and it gives orders to their servant, hey, attack this person. Most of the time, this person is not even in control of their conscious logical thinking, because he has accepted with its brain connections that this person is in control over this person. So their conscious thinking brain stops working when there are commands from this energy, okay? And because they are disconnected from their heart, they aren't capable of perceiving, they don't see, they aren't capable of operating within values. So we would perceive this one as bad and this one as bad, okay? But they are both just operating from trauma. They are just operating from trauma. If these people would use the medicine nature gave us, like ayahuasca, they would be capable of getting back to their soul again, to their heart connection. And their heart connection would start creating their frequency again, their operating system again, their own authentic way of perceiving and taking actions again, okay? And this person would transform from a bad person into a good person. Because the thing that makes someone good and the thing that makes something bad is just the vibration they are operating in, and therefore the actions they are taking, their current perspective, okay? So this is the same with a human that goes to a job he dislikes. The thing that makes him go to that job is just the current vibration, the current level of perspective they are stuck in. Okay, what you see a lot in Spain is people are begging for money next to the store, and they get a few euros every day, and this is low leverage actions, but because their current perspective vibration is stuck in this level of awareness, they keep on doing this, creating zero results, short-term thinking, okay? But if this person just learned the art of, implementing that same way of begging but just transformed it into sales, and they would take on a sales job, and instead for asking for money, they would provide a service for money, okay, their results would be way higher, okay, they would be considered successful in society. But because they aren't capable of attuning themselves with the right people, with the right awareness, they stay stuck in this low level of results. And that's most of the time because they are stuck in trauma that they aren't capable of resolving. They are stuck in an image that they aren't capable of resolving. And that's all because, we come back to the government again, that's all because the government has created a system where you are scared of all drugs, and therefore you aren't capable of using the ones that allow you to make more brain connections, change your perspective, make your mind more fluid, and therefore become more effective in who you are as a person and the results you're creating, because you're capable of attuning to different realities, create awareness on different frequencies, make different brain connections, and therefore take different actions and create different results, okay? You are only free. It does not matter how much money you have. It does not matter how much girls you have. It does not matter what all these external things are. If you are not in control over your frequency, over your own perspective, if your actions and decisions are influenced by someone external, you are not free. You are not free. You're just a rich slave, okay? A rich slave that's not in control of over its own choices. And that's what's currently happening with most people who go to a job they dislike. Okay, they are stuck in a building the whole day, and they call it their own choice, but it's not their own choice. They are just stuck on the same frequency, stuck on the same perspective, and being a slave of someone, you know, that just does not care about them. So yeah, I really hope this video gave you a little bit more insight about why you are not your actions. You are just stuck on your current vibration, and you know, if you change it, you can become a new person, attuned to a new reality. Make sure to like, subscribe, and yeah, put in the comments if you want me to talk about something. I will make a video about it. And if you need any help getting to your unique energy, to your unique vibration, there's a link in the bio. Everything you need to attune to a new reality. And yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.